Assalamualaikum, good morning and welcome everyone to the 2020 YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award Grand Final pitch. Thank you for joining us via Facebook Live and Zoom. I am your host Nazmi, wishing everyone a good health and safety wherever you are. Let us begin today's program with a doa recitation by Mr. Hendy Putra Herman.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil mursalin wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Allahumma innaka khalaqul azim, innaka sami'un alim, innaka ghafurur rahim, innaka rabbul arshil azim, innakal barru jawadul karim. Ya Allah, Engkaulah yang mempunyai segala kepujian, Engkaulah yang berhak menerima segala kepujian, Engkaulah yang berhak menerima segala kesyukuran, Engkaulah yang memiliki segala pemerintahan, di tangan Engkau segala kebajikan, kepada Engkaulah kembali segala urusan. Allahumma ya Karim, ya Rahim. Cucurilah rahmat dan rahimmu ke atas majlis pertandingan akhir YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award 2020 yang diadakan pada hari ini. Berkatilah ia dari awal hingga akhirnya. Ya Fa'al lima yurid. Kami juga memohon perlindungan daripadamu dari segala perkara yang boleh mencacat celakan majlis kami dan daripada segala perkara yang melalaikan kami dari berbuat taat kepadamu. Kepadamu jua kami serah segala urusan kami. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina azabannar. Wa sallallahu ala sayidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabi ajma'in. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
Thank you, Mr. Hendy. Ladies and gentlemen, the YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award was formerly known as the YSN-ASM Rising Star Award in 2019. This award is targeted specifically at final year Malaysian PhD students. The award aims to identify and nurture promising PhD candidates to become future pillars of our science, technology, and innovation ecosystem. Selected finalists will also experience continued support and mentoring for the next 5 years. This step is to ensure that these finalists are groomed to be outstanding researchers who will contribute towards Malaysia's STI ecosystem. In recognition for their talents, the top 3 winners will receive a total of 10,000 ringgit in cash prize to support their professional development. Suitable candidates will also be recommended for prestigious fellowships or internships at reputable institutions and establishments. Now, let me introduce the 15 2020 Chrysalis Award finalists. Please welcome Chai Yi Ho from the Department of Chemical Engineering, University Technology Petronas. Fatihah Najirah Jumaah from the Solar Research Institute, University Kebangsaan Malaysia. Fong Cheng San from the Institute for Advanced Studies, University Malaya. Ku Zisian from the UKM Medical Molecular Biology Institute, University Kebangsaan Malaysia. Lam Jia Yong from the Department of Medical Microbiology, University Putra Malaysia. Li Yo Zuan from the School of Pharmaceutical Sciences, University Science Malaysia. Muhammad Fakhrul Ridwan Samsudin from the Department of Chemical Engineering, University Technology Petronas. Muhammad Shazali Chezain from the Natural Medicines and Products Research Laboratory, Nature Meds, University Putra Malaysia. Nik Aina Shazana Nik Zainuddin from the School of Health Sciences, University Science Malaysia. Nur Fadilatul Adha Abdullah from the Faculty of Engineering, University Technology Malaysia. Nur Fazliana Abdullah from the Faculty of Engineering, University Technology Malaysia. Polly Yap Su Si from the Faculty of Medicine, University Malaya. Sadatul Sofia Mat Sharani from the Malaysia Japan International Institute of Technology, University Technology Malaysia. Tan Li Wen from the School of Biological Sciences, University Science Malaysia. And Wan Muhammad Arif Aziz Japar from the Malaysia Japan International Institute of Technology, University Technology Malaysia. Following this, ladies and gentlemen, here are our panel of judges to evaluate our finalists during today's grand final pitch. we have the chair of the 2021 YSN-ASM Science Leadership Working Group, Professor Engineer Dr. Sharifah Rafidah Wan Alwi from University Technology Malaysia as our Chief Judge for today. She is joined by ASM Fellow, Professor Engineer Dr. Dominic Fu Chuan Yi from the University of Nottingham, Malaysia. Associate Professor Engineer Dr. Rosdiadi Nordin from University Kebangsaan Malaysia. Mr. Park Seok Kyu from Merck Malaysia, Sendirian Berhad. Dr. Bugs Tan Yau Kiang from Vitrox Corporation Berhad. Tuan Haji Kamaruddin Kasim from Petroscience Sendirian Berhad. And Puan Elena Mazlinda Mazlan from Pusat Sains Negara. Please give our finalists and judges a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, now please join me in welcoming Dr. Lee Hui Ling, Chair of the 2020 YSN-ASM Science Leadership Working Group, to deliver her welcoming remarks.
Thank you to Mr. MC. Yang berbahagia Datuk Insinyur Dr. Siti Hamisah Tafsir, Secretary General of the Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation MOSTI. Yang berbahagia Professor Datuk Dr. Asma Ismail, President Academy of Sciences Malaysia. Yang berusaha Puan Hazami Habib, Chief Executive Officer of Academy of Sciences Malaysia. Mr. Park Seok Kyu, Head of Research and Applied Commercial, Life Science Merck Malaysia Sendirian Berhad. Dr. Chai Lei Ching, Chairperson of Young Scientist Network ASM, ASM Fellows and YSN-ASM, judges and finalists of the 2020 YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award, media representative, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Salam Sejahtera and good morning everyone. I am Hui Ling, the chair of 2020 YSN-ASM Science Leadership Working Group. First and foremost, I would like to welcome all of you to our very first grand finale of the 2020 YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award, which is conducted virtually due to the current COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you very much for being here with us today, and thank you for your kind support. Allow me to introduce more about YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award. The YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award is designed to target specifically for the final year Malaysian PhD students below 35 years old. The main objectives are to identify, develop, recognize, and finally empower young future leading researchers to contribute to our local STI ecosystem. The term chrysalis was selected because it refers to a transitional stage of life when transforming the immature to mature stages. This term describes the stages that are through the analogy of being nurtured from the pupa stage, leading to the transformation into a beautiful butterfly after their graduation. Therefore, we hope to contribute at this important junction of their career positively. Each cohort will be a 5-year project comprising 1 year of training and 4 years of monitoring. Today, we gather here to listen to their brilliant ideas and celebrate the fruits of their training for the past 6 months. As such, I wish to congratulate all our 15 finalists from various universities in Malaysia. They were selected based on very competitive evaluation as finalists. Since then, they have gone through many online workshops such as responsible conduct of research, TRIS, science communication, science advice, entrepreneurship, proposal writing, and so forth, to be trained and groomed in the past 6 months. For your information, the 2020 YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award has been conducted 100% virtually. Despite these circumstances, I am very proud to observe their transformation into confident, dynamic young researchers in this journey. Even though we will announce the top 3 winners today, remember that you are already the winners for completing this training. The journey has just begun, and I'm sure there are more rewards to come in the future. Finally, I also wish to thank all organizing committee members, speakers, mentors, and judges for their hard work in planning the 2020 YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award. I also take this opportunity to record my deepest gratitude to the MOSTI and Academy of Sciences Malaysia for the continuous support for YSN-ASM programs and our partners especially Merck Malaysia Sendirian Berhad, University Science Malaysia, and Vitrox Corporation Berhad for providing monetary awards and internship postdoctoral opportunities for the winners. I hope everyone will stay safe, and it is still not too late to wish happy 2021. All the best to all finalists. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hui Ling. Now, let us proceed to the grand final pitch. Groups will be given 10 minutes to present their proposals, followed by 5 minutes of Q&A with the judges. The timer will start as soon as the speakers start speaking. The first bell will be rung to tell them that they have 2 minutes left, and then the second bell will be rung to tell them that their time is up. To the presenting team, please do not forget to unmute your audio and turn on your camera. The other teams, you may please mute and turn off your camera. Ladies and gentlemen, first we have the Group 1 with their proposal titled Automated Self-Powered Water Treatment and Monitoring System for Drinkable Water Production. This group consists of Lam Jia Yong, Muhammad Fakrul Ridwan Samsudin, and Nur Fazliana Abdullah. Please welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have your drinking water by your side, may I please request you to switch your attention to your water and consider this.
Right now, you might have a glass or a bottle of drinking water that you are confident of its quality and you are confident it is safe for consumption.
But imagine this, instead of where you are right now, you are now in one of the places in Pahang or Johor that is affected by the flood.
So, what do you think of your water you have with you now?
It has been a long-running battle to ensure the quality of water throughout the world. Only by enhancing the water quality, we would be able to decrease the worldwide effects of sickness. No doubt, the number of people lacking basic drinking water service is still a worrying one. But before we want to solve this issue in a worldwide scale, what do you think of the situation in Malaysia? The lack of clean water supply in Malaysia has always been a major problem, majorly due to industrial waste contamination. Remember the Sungai Kim Kim incident and the water pollution crisis that happened in Klang Valley recently? Another factor that was overlooked is the persistence of microbes in water. The extreme monsoon season in Malaysia has led to more occurrence of floods, aiding the transmission of these microbes into our human population. Now, following the 2014 and 2015 Malaysia flood incidents, we saw an upsurge of microbes such as E. coli, Salmonella, Leptospira contaminating our water. Today, we are facing yet another major flood. Who knows what kind of microbes will emerge and transmit disease this time? So this is where we come into place to mitigate these chronic issues, particularly post-disaster.
Hold on, what is this? People say a picture can tell 1,000 words, but how this missing part picture tell you what it's all about? Let me tell you, as the aforementioned issue highlight on clean water demand, this is the main reason why we are here to propose one integrated solution which is comprised of 3 different sub-projects. Sub-project 1 is a LAMP DNA biosensor for microbe detector and quality assurance. Sub-project 2 is an adsorptive low-cost membrane system for removal of recalcitrant pollutants. Sub-project 3 is a self-powered photoelectrocatalytic treatment for bacteria disinfection and clean hydrogen production. Wow! In the simple word, we detect the microbe, treat the water, and degrade the bacteria prior to the screening process to meet the standard quality of drinkable water. Thus, our proposed solution could help to process and transform the contaminated water into clean and safe drinkable water. Last but not least, each of the sub-projects plays a vital role to accomplish this mission.
Various microbial detection techniques have been in practice, but most of them are rather time-consuming, sometimes requiring weeks to provide the result. Now, for an immediate response, particularly in a post-disaster scenario, the availability of an ultra-sensitive and rapid monitoring platform is vital for timely water quality surveillance and microbial risk assessment. In the first sub-project, we are proposing 2 high-throughput systems to detect this microbe. Now, the first system involves a portable detection method based on nucleic acid amplification method known as LAMP. It can be done at a constant temperature with a rapid pace. So this method does not require the need for any expensive specialized equipment, and a thermal flask is already sufficient enough. Now, the second system involves a cytometry-based method that is capable of being automated and analyzing the sample in just a few minutes, making it a perfect approach to be integrated to the whole system for real-time detection of microbes in sample. So, all in all, what can these two systems offer? Well, the portable module in System 1 can be applied to a more simplified environmental microbe surveillance on the water source, particularly after a disaster. Without the need of any specialized equipment, it can be applied to rural and remote areas where resources are limited. It can also be used as an easy-to-perform quality assurance method on the treated water. The in situ module in System 2 is a robust method that can be integrated online to the whole system for real-time monitoring and immediate intervention.
Could you imagine you drink a fresh water that has not been processed? I think most of us will react like, yeah, thank goodness today we can still drink a clean and safe drinking water. However, there are some areas in Malaysia having a problem to limited access of clean water. Thus, one of the technologies in film to solve the above mentioned issue is membrane technology. What is membrane? By definition, it is a perm-selective barrier that can reject all possible pollutants such as suspended solid, macro and micromolecule, organic and inorganic compound, depending on the membrane open pore size distribution. In general, it is work based on absorption and filtration aided by driving force such as pressure gradient. Membrane technology offers good durability, long lifespan, and high efficiency. At the same time, in this system, capable in removing all recalcitrant contaminants that are unable to sense by the microbe detector in sub-project 1. By developing a kaolin hollow fiber membrane deposited with titania exchange zirconia-based metal organic framework offer a good alternative. Kaolin is a clay material which is abundant and cheap sources, signifying a low-cost system. Titania and zirconia-based MOF, or known as UiO66, is a metal oxide that can hinder the falling formation due to the accumulating particle on the membrane surface. Thus, our sub-project 1 offer a cost-effective membrane system with anti-fouling merit and high pure water production of approximately 1,000 liters per meter squared per hour.
In sub-project 2, the treated water will be free from particulate matter and harmful substances. However, the membrane system unable to fully remove the presence of the microbes, which eventually can cause the waterborne diseases. Thus, to eliminate these contagious microbes, we propose the development of the bifunctional carbon quantum dot, graphitic carbon nitride, and enzymes photocatalyst for simultaneous photoelectrocatalytic microbial disinfections and hydrogen productions. The system will compose a photocatalysis system and assisted by the solar panel. The solar energy will be utilized to power up the overall system. And upon the reactions, the system will produce a positive and negative charge. And the positive charge will react with the water and produce radicals. And these radicals will attack and eliminate the microbes. Eventually, it will turn into a safe drinkable water. Interestingly, the electron at this site will react with the water. Simultaneously, it can produce hydrogen energy. And this hydrogen can be connected to a fuel cell for the electricity generation for the night usage. Therefore, in this sub-project 3, we offer that an integrated solar powered system that is made up of inexpensive bio-waste material. And ultimately, our aim is actually to produce a drinkable water that is safe to be consumed, while at the same time capable of generating hydrogen energy that can be used as a backup during the nighttime.
This is targeted outcome of our proposed project, and ultimately, we are expecting to develop a lab-scale prototype of a self-powered water treatment and monitoring system. The total estimated budget of our project is 715,000, which each sub-project has an individual cost of 215,000, and this is our budget breakdown.
In summations, the presence of the microbes is quite worrisome. Therefore, this has urged us to design an alternative holistic treatment system whereby we propose an automated rapid microbes detections that can detect the microbe within less than 5 minutes. Additionally, the combination of the inexpensive membrane technology and bifunctional photocatalytic system are estimated to capable of producing 1,000 liter per meter square per hour of drinkable water and 2 kilogram per meter square of hydrogen. Following that, the impacts of our proposed work here, firstly, a self-powered water treatment and monitoring system. Moreover, since we employ a bio-waste material, we foresee that this system is very cheap and inexpensive. Next, the combinations of the solar energy and hydrogen energy signifies the benefits of zero environmental footprints. Finally, our goal in this project is to transform the contaminated drinkable water into a safe drinkable water that can be consumed by the community. Thus, we believe that this is the right time and the right moment to implement this idea, which can help thousands of nations that suffer, particularly in a post-disaster scenario. Last but not least, we are from Group 1, one team,
One mission.
One solution. Your clean drinkable water is our priority. Thank you.
Thank you, Group 1. Judges, you now have 5 minutes with Group 1 for the question and answer session.
Okay, maybe I can start. I'm Prof. Sharifah.
Dr. Prof.
Very good presentation. I can see the connectivity of the projects and very creative using props and so on in your presentation. So well done on that. I would like to ask, comparing your proposal to the literatures, yeah. So what is the novelty of your work and how different is your work with other previous technologies out there?
Well, for this project here is actually an integration between 3 kinds of technology. So actually, we have the low-cost membrane technology that is being conducted in sub-project 2, and also we have the very novel photocatalyst introduction into the water treatment system by sub-project 3. So the introduction of photocatalyst system into the system allows this system to be powered by solar cell, and then at night, it will generate hydrogen by the photocatalyst, which we use as a backup energy during night. So not just that, the backup energy can also be used for any rainy days, as well as because the solar cell that we're using is the dye-sensitized solar cell. I think my team member Pakro will be able to explain more on this. And then eventually in sub-project 1, we are introducing 2 detection module, which is quite robust and ultra-sensitive. One of it is a portable detection module that we can use this module to use at any post-disaster area. So for example, the flood in Pahang right now, we can use this detection module and use that to survey what is the microbe that is actually present in the water samples. And then the second detection module is actually an online real-time detection module for the whole system.
Thank you very much. So I'll pass to the other judges if they have any questions.
I saw Dr. Adi just now.
Sorry, my name is Bax. Can I ask a question here? Yeah, I saw you have got this membrane, which is I think is a reverse osmosis, right? So if that's the case, are you taking out all the mineral away from the water? Because I think we need some mineral when we drink water. So that's my question. And number 2 is about the cost. You can produce about 1,000 liters per hour. I wonder if that's economical enough, because there are also a lot of brands in the market. So where do you stand against those in the market?
Okay, thank you, Doctor, for very good question regarding on the membrane technology. So far, I just want to do a clarification about my membrane technology. So far, this membrane technology is not up to reverse osmosis application. This only for the ultrafiltration. So we
Okay.
want to remove the microbes, so the mineral will stain on the water. That's why we need, just now you say that we need a mineral in
Yeah.
our drinking water. Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
In our intention of our proposed project is to kill the bacteria so we can have a safe and clean drinkable water and maintain the mineral inside the drinking water.
Yeah, that's good.
And for your question to you asking about the cost, so far we are intention to propose very economical plant water system and also uh, what online biosensor to detect the bacteria. So we want to having a very economical system, so affordable to target about 200 people that will be affected due to the flood disaster or whatsoever disaster after the
Do you
post
know?
disaster.
Do you know how much is per liter your cost for doing 1,000 for producing 1,000 liter per hour? What is your cost per liter?
Okay, based on our estimated budget, um, or maybe my colleague will be at some more on about the budget.
Okay. In terms of the budgets, actually, it depends on the tariff of the water national tariff. For example, in Johor, for the less than 20 meter cube is around 60 cents. So since actually the system itself is very cheap, firstly, we don't use much electricity in the micro sub project 1, and also for the sub project 2 is very minimum electricity. So we foresee that for 1 liter, for 1 meter squared, is comparable for the national water tariff, which is the 60 cent for the 20 meter cube, less than 30 meter cube. And actually, we need to know that this system is designed for the people that in desire need during the post disaster. So that's why the cost will be very cheap and suitable for immediate actions during the disaster. So it should be comparable with the national tariff water.
Okay.
All right.
Thank
Q&A
you
time
just
is
for the
up.
question.
Thank you, Group 1, and also to the judges.
No more time for question.
Okay, let us now give the judges some time to key in their scores.
Perhaps, guys, let me just share a bit of my personal comment. It depends on what you look at it, how you look at it, because for disaster relief, cost is not a very big issue, but then we don't want to be too expensive because flood happens every year. So
Yeah.
so of course we don't want it to be too expensive. So that especially this year where we have we spend a lot of money on COVID, so we really have not much money left in the country. But if my concern is that if you are using Johor as a comparison, this is not a very good baseline, because Johor is the most expensive state in terms of water tariff. Of course, you don't know. You should also not use Penang or Terengganu because they are the cheapest. So somewhere in the middle between the extreme will be good. Right? Just a quick comment.
Okay, thank you, Prof.
Why Dr. Buck talk about this? Because in the commercial world, we want it to be economically viable, technically feasible and economically viable solution. Okay, that is important. So the only problem with most PhD project is that we don't care about money, because money is always available by my project supervisor. They have a lot of research fund for you to use, but in the real world, this is not true. Okay, all right. Anyway, good job for you guys from 3 different universities proposing a project like this. So if you get through, this will be benefiting the country. Yep, good job.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you, Dr. Dominic, for the input. Dr. Sharifa, are the judges ready for the next round, the next group?
Yeah, please go ahead.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, now we'll proceed to Group 2 with their proposal titled Heart Vessel on a Chip, Personalized Medicine for Coronary Artery Disease. This group comprises Ku Zisian, Nur Fadilatul Adha Abdullah, and Wan Muhammad Arif Aziz Japar. Please welcome.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Ku, a stem cell biologist together with my teammate Arhan Arif, present to you our proposal entitled Heart Vessel on a Chip, Personalized Medicine for Coronary Artery Disease. Before I begin, I would like you to join me to close your eyes and take a deep breath. Do you know that while we were taking deep breaths just now, someone out there just died of coronary artery disease or CAD? CAD is the narrowing of coronary artery, which limits oxygen supply to the heart and causes heart attack, which often results in death. But the good news is it is preventable. But how? Well, although there are many risk factors which affects your risk of getting CAD, studies have shown that the culprit behind CAD is LDL, the bad cholesterol. So by lowering the LDL in the blood, we should be able to prevent CAD. But the question is, how low is low? Based on the national guidelines, normal LDL cutoff is set at 100 milligram per deciliter, even for the high-risk population. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe all of us have been tested for LDL before. Do you feel relief when the report shows that it is within the healthy range? Yes. But if you find yourself diagnosed with CAD 20 years later, do not be surprised. You are not alone. Because out of 100,000 CAD patients, more than 50% have LDL below the normal cutoff. This shows that the one-size-fits-all LDL threshold doesn't work for everyone, as our bodies respond towards LDL varies as we are genetically different. Thus, we propose a novel concept term, Ldl Max, which is the maximum tolerable LDL level unique for an individual. Today, no one knows exactly how much LDL one can tolerate, as there's no way to determine it. But how to precisely determine the LDL max when the majority of the genetic factors are still unknown? While we're waiting for the rest of factors to be discovered, which could take decades, we need a precise solution now. So we propose a shortcut solution. By using an in vitro model derived from your own cells, we should be able to determine your body's response towards LDL without having to know the exact genetic factors which affects LDL response in you. However, previous coronary artery models suffer three major problems. First, they were established using cells from an unrelated donor, so it cannot predict donor-specific response towards LDL. Second, there's a lack of metabolic waste removal feature, which causes cells to die. And third, there's an excessive shear stress during cell transport, which damages the cells in the chip, which we will solve through this program by making sure the models is donor-specific, the metabolic waste is removed, and shear stress is minimized, which upon integration makes an ideal model, which we call it the corona chip model, which helps us to determine the LDL max. Do not mistake it for coronavirus which kills. This corona chip potentially saves millions of lives by enabling precision prevention of CAD. So in the first sub-project, to make sure the models is donor specific so that the LDL max we determine is specific to you, we will create a model from your own cells. Don't worry, I'm not going to cut a portion of the artery from your heart, but how then? First, we'll get some blood from you and add in the Yamanaka factors, which works like a reset button. When you click on it, it erases the memory of the blood cells so that they forget who they are and gets reverted to become a baby-like stem cells, the induced pluripotent stem cells, which are then driven to become endothelial and smooth muscle cells, which are genetically identical to you. Then the cells will be seeded sequentially into corona chip to recreate your coronary artery. To better mimic the actual environment in your coronary artery, we will pump in your own blood, which is made possible by using corona chip from sub-project 3 and waste removal filter from sub-project 2. So, to determine the LDL max, we will challenge the personalized model with various concentrations of LDL and count the number of foam cells. What are foam cells? It comes from macrophages in the blood who are hungry for LDL. When they eat up too much LDL, they become fat and get stuck in the artery, forming foam cells, which causes CAD. So by counting the number of foam cells, the maximum LDL level, before a sudden increase in the baseline number of foam cells formed will be determined, and indeed, that's your LDL max, which serves as your personalized target to prevent CAD. So, as long as you maintain LDL below the LDL max, you are certain that you have low risk for CAD. See, no more surprise. So now, curious about the filter that I've used, let's welcome our chemical engineer, Arha.
So I heard you, Ku. So it means that LDL is really the main culprit of CAD, yeah? So as Ku is mainly targeted to address patient-specific response of CAD by measuring Ldl max, me and Arif will mainly focus to improve the limitation of existing coronary artery model, making corona chip more physiologically viable. So what's extra in corona chip? For my part, this, the integration of membrane technology, aka blood filter. So why is this important? So let's go back to the second problem, existing model lack of metabolic waste feature. So just for you to know, in cell culture media system, the production of lactic acid and ammonia cause cell to die. So usually media system require frequent replacement, but these will just increase the cost. So are there any other methods available? Yes, they are. However, these methods cannot be applied to cell culture that mimic real cell system. Here, we can actually use membrane to filter the blood and remove the metabolic waste. So imagine we are straining tea dust from tea. It works the same thing. So basically, the research has been done in 1994, but unsatisfactory results was obtained. But by understanding type of culture media and the components to be removed, we can actually design suitable membrane material and membrane process. So what do? We use biocompatible sulfonated copolymer membrane added with anticoagulant and implemented membrane osmosis process. So as a whole, addition of the additive and membrane process will enhance ammonia and lactate removal by size exclusion and charge repulsion, and the results would be boom, filtered blood without metabolic waste that is reflowed to the system. So I think enough with my part. So why don't we hear what Arif will do to improve the design of the corona chip?
So by now, all of you feel very excited with this project, right? Actually, when my team decide to do this project, I'm very excited to do that since my father too was diagnosed and struggling with a heart disease in last year. Shall I do something? Yes. Before that, do you know what is the corona chip bioreactor and why this chip is very important in the determinant LDL max for the CAD? Generally, this chip is used to mimic the environment of the heart vessel, where the microchannel of the corona chip plays a main role for the blood transportation. However, as mentioned by Ku just now, excessive stress in the common planar microchannel will damage the cell in the blood. Curious how the cell get damaged? Before the cell flows in the microchannel, they are in good condition. But when the cell flows in the microchannel, the wall friction tried to stop the cell, shear stress happen and cell damage. So in this project, I will use a sustainable solution such as dimple groove design to improve the microchannel performance. But how? Based on the flow of blood, we can see I will integrate the dimple groove design in this 6 microchannel, and I will investigate the fluid flow characteristic in the artery device. With this novel design, the cell quality can be maintained for a longer term at a less energy and blood consumption. This means this technology is cost effective and may help to prevent death caused by the heart attack, the first silent killer in Malaysia.
So you already heard about all of the 3 sub-projects. So here is the program output. In terms of data sharing, this will be done by storing the data in logbook and soft copies, disseminate the research findings through data presentation, conferences, public speaking, publications and patents, and data generated during method optimization will be made available via future Malaysia open science platform to avoid waste of resources due to unintentional duplication of works. And any personalized data can only be accessed by the person granted in the agreement. So altogether, we estimated a total budget of 625K for this program.
So by combining this sub-project, prominent impact can be achieved. First, scholars can use corona chip to study CAD and discover new drugs. Next, stem cell company will start to offer iPSC banking service. Factory will start to produce corona chip. Pharmacy company will then use it for drug screening and to treat CAD. If the Ldl Max is proven to be useful, it could be included into the national guideline. When less people get CAD, productivity of people increase, national GDP increase. And most importantly, if we can prevent many unnecessary loss of life.
Yeah, that's true, Arif. CAD doesn't care how famous or how common you are. It always attacks suddenly that many don't even have the last word to say to their loved ones. But
with the invention from this project, we hope that the next time when you take a deep breath, no one has to die from CAD. Thank you.
Thank you, Group 2. Judges, do you have questions for our Group 2 team members?
Good job, man. I wish I can use it too. I have high LDL.
hello, Professor.
Hi, Prof.
Same
Good morning.
questions. Can we know about the economic performance of your project? What is the ROI? What is the capex? Those kind of financial indication for someone to invest, because I have sent out the link to many of my connections. Some of these businessmen are interested to invest, I believe.
So what we can say is that firstly, based on these sub-projects, so mainly everything for the existing coronary model, it is an individual, or I can say this is independent model. But for our case, we integrated everything into one single model. And unfortunately, what we can say, this is like a pioneer study. So it means that we tried to prove this is like proof in concept. So in terms of the budget, as a for a research purpose, we believe that there will be like a for initial research process, there will be like a sum of money that needs to be invested first. But as we can promise, what we can promise is basically we already have all of the concept that we believe that we just need to carry on with the research, and we need to find the optimization of this model, and before we can just truly do or allow all of the businessmen come to invest to us.
Maybe I'll add on a bit. It is costly at this stage. I've calculated the rough cost of this because it is customized. It costs around 7,000 for one person, because it's a customized model. So the chip and the membranes are cheap, but the stem cell part is not, mainly due to the low throughput. Okay, but with the future integration of the automation, which VTROX is good at, a lot of things could be automated to allow high throughput stem cell culture and to determine the Ldl Max. Okay, imagine thousands of corona chips we had to look into. So the automated inspection system will certainly help and bring down the cost to perhaps less than 1,000 in total, which is quite affordable as compared to one-time CT angiography, which costs you about 1,500 and above, or a balloon angioplasty, which costs more than 8,000 when you really get CAD, when you really need to treat CAD.
Okay, actually, I want to add something too. For the corona chip that I showed just now, actually in the OOSC technology, most of the technology, they use the planar design, which is the straight design. Actually, the straight design will shear the cell and will damage the cell, and we actually, if they want to reduce the shear stress, actually they use high pumping power to overcome the resistance of the fluid flow. But in my design, actually in our design, we try to reduce the shear stress by changing or innovate the channel design. So it's very cost effective. Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Adi, I see that you raised your hand. Do you have a question?
All right. Okay. Thank you, Group 2. And also congratulations to Group 2 and the rest of the finalists for making this far. Okay. I have several questions. Okay. So I'm very, pleased to see that you guys able to grasp this open science concept and also transdisciplinary research approach in your proposal. So here's my question, can you answer why the needs to move into transdisciplinary research? And my second question, how do you plan to make your data is, follow or moving towards the open science concept?
As you can see, in this project, if I'm working alone, my cells will die, certainly, because the waste will not be removed. And my cells will experience a lot of shear stress. Without a transdisciplinary approach, I'm not able to solve my problem. And even then, actually, we will prefer even more more discipline to come in, especially you can see perhaps we need biosensors to sort of detect the level of LDL in real time, for example. So and also we can also integrate. Actually, this project we will determine the Ldl max, right? So Ldl max actually can serve as the ground truth for future deep learning based trainings. When we combine, imagine if you have genetic sequences information and the lifestyle information as your input, and the output as the ground truth as the LDL max, we can actually train the models so that we do not even need wet lab to determine the LDL max in the future. So the convergence of knowledge, with the advancements of the AI, the automation, combined with the engineering part, we can actually move forward, and the future is really exciting.
Yeah, so basically in terms of the Open Science Future Network Malaysia that you mentioned just now. So basically the main reason this platform is made is to make sure that we give the appropriate data. There is no such waste of resources or any duplications of the works. So it basically can maintain good results and with a good integrity of results. So what we're going to planning to do, so as we already mentioned about all of the data sharings and all of the, we will also share all of our data through this platform. Yeah.
So can I ask, cool, I think what you need is deep learning. So if we can provide deep learning to you, how far are you at this stage to the commercialization stage? How far are you? What else do you need?
So we can see that you need more data. For example, you need more people to subscribe to this service so that you can develop more models. So you need more models to determine the LDL max, and you need more match genetic information and their lifestyle. So when you combine these together, you'll be able to determine, you'll be able to use deep learning approach to train the models to determine the LDL max.
Okay.
I think that will be about 5 to 10 years, 5 years time, I think.
Okay.
Mainly is to get the numbers.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, judges and group 2. Now we'll give some time for the judges to key in their scores. Dr. Sharifah, you may indicate if you are ready for the next group. Ladies and gentlemen, while we give the judges some time to key in their scores, let us watch this video by Merck Malaysia, Sindiran Berhad.
We are Merck. You know of us as a quality-driven leading pharma and life science company with a rich heritage. But we are so much more. Think of us as a globally connected network of labs, engineers, and scientists. A network that has been built over 350 years and several generations of scientists, pharmacists, and chemists who create complex chemicals and synthesize new molecules through our cutting-edge technologies. Leading innovations in the field of life science, we have gained the trust of the global scientific community by supplying the safest raw materials, technology, expertise, and testing tools, so that they can create high quality and safe products for the world. When consumers place their faith in prescribed medicines, we are working hard to ensure safety, quality, and efficacy of the drugs through our reliable testing tools and standards for the pharma industry. Drugs and therapies are not the only aspect of us. Our offerings extend to the entire healthcare ecosystem. Our high-quality products for pathology testing and research and development products are used in hospitals and labs. We are a part of the success of India's leading research institutes. We provide cutting-edge research tools and kits, along with support on nanotechnology, genomics and molecular biology that paves the way for newer discoveries. Our testing tools and test standards are used in the F&B and cosmetic industry. We also create flavors and fragrances. So the next time when you smell a nice perfume on someone or indulge in a delicious recipe, think of us. Environment sustenance is a key challenge for the world today. We play our part in testing through our air, water, soil and microbial testing products, which help prevent and control health and environmental hazards. The water from your taps is consumption certified thanks to our testing equipments. The water used in the beverage industry is purity certified through our chemical and microbial testing products. Through our best-in-class lab materials, cutting-edge technologies, and a broad portfolio of 3 lakh plus products, we are committed to solving the toughest problems in life science and ensuring better health for people everywhere. We touch lives, and we are dedicated to make them better every day. Life science is at a cusp of a revolution, and we are at the forefront. We are constantly pushing the limits through a comprehensive portfolio led by brands like Sigma Aldrich, MilliQ, Millipore, Supelco, SAFC, and BioReliance. And we are leading this change through making research simpler, faster, and safer, a leading enabler for the global life science industry. We are Merck.
Ladies and gentlemen, our third group is next, with their proposal titled Synergistic Program on IOE Smart Monitoring of Sustainable Energy Production from Palm-Based Solar Cell and Water Conservation in a Tropical University Campus. In this group, we have Fong Cheng San, Fatihah Najirah Jumaah, and Lee Yo Zuan. Please welcome.
According to energy consumption trends, building dominates the biggest sector due to the exponential growing demand in industries and urban areas. Therefore, improving energy efficiency and encouraging the use of renewable energy in buildings is crucial as a part of sustainable urban development. Since IR 4.0, the Internet of Everything, or IoE, is the future of technology, and future cities will benefit most by utilizing IoE with big data and artificial intelligence to address key issues such as unsustainable energy and water consumption. However, the implementation of IoE system is discouraging because such system is not yet economically feasible, and hence there is a need for a transformative program acting as catalyst for the implementation of smart IoE grid system. While few studies highlighted the potential of IoE with renewable energy in water distribution and energy systems, an integrated system comprising both have yet to surface. In the next couple of minutes, we are going to show you how we synergistically integrate artificial intelligence and IoE for sustainable energy management and water conservation in a building. And what's more, we are also developing frontier technology to tap into the unlimited renewable resources that we have in abundance in this tropical region.
Moving on to our proposed project, as we are fighting COVID-19 pandemic, we are more grateful than ever about the existence of internet to connect us with our loved ones and also allow us to work from home. We infuse the intelligence of internet to transfer the data and alarm us whenever something is not right. In this project, we use IoE as the platform to establish the smart monitoring on the renewable energy production. In line with the Malaysia Grand Challenge launched yesterday by MOSTI, our proposed project will help to diversify the renewable energy scope. Not to forget, this project also emphasizes on sustainable water consumption. We harvest the rainwater for non-potable use, as well as reduce any wastage in a research building. Why are we focusing on research building? As most of you researchers can relate, this place is like our second home. So we would like to nurture the existing place to be eco-green, safer, and more convenient.
In sub-project 1, a Kaizen approach, which is a Japanese term meaning continuous improvement, is adopted to promote sustainable energy and water consumption in a building. The fusion of IoE, big data, and AI with human aspects is the core to the smart IoE grid system, which will be developed to optimize building energy and water efficiency. In phase 1, the installation of sensors and the setup of the whole system can be carried out in stages for the real-time monitoring of energy and water consumption. These will avoid unnecessary overhaul of the existing system. And the sensors can be installed along the piping system to provide information for decision-making in the water distribution from the rainwater harvesting system of sub-project 3. These would allow instantaneous detection of system failures and offers immediate solutions through AI to evaluate the trade-offs considering the resources availability and operational costs. And from here, the consumption pattern and anomalies is observed. In phase 2, an energy water management framework, or EWMS, is proposed to promote energy and water efficiency. In the EWMS, there is an active and passive approach. The active EWMS uses AI and feedback loops to reduce energy wastage within the building and will also be able to decide the water distribution from rainwater harvesting system based on the observed water quality. Meanwhile, the passive EWMS optimizes the energy and water efficiency via best management practices, such as optimizing the natural ventilation and daylighting to minimize the building energy consumption. The monitoring presumed. In phase 3, a review on the EWMS is conducted to further optimize the building energy and water efficiency. Similarly, at this point, critical points are identified for the integration of dye-sensitized solar cells from sub-project 2 as renewable energy resources. The review of framework will be conducted within a stipulated time frame to continuously optimize the building energy and water efficiency. In summary, the smart IoE grid system from sub-project 1 will demonstrate great promise towards achieving sustainable energy and water consumption for future cities.
In conjunction with sub-project 1, with the aim to monitor the effectiveness of power management by IoE, the sub-project 2 will provide the alternative of energy resources to power up the existing building in sustainable way. Here, we propose the usage of dye-synthesized solar cell. The uniqueness of these cells over the conventional solar cell is it requires low production and material costs. Most importantly, these cells are also able to work under low daylight intensity. In this project, we use Malaysia's main commodity, palm oil, to convert it into electrolyte in solar cells. We want to avoid the use of liquid as the conventional electrolytes, as it can cause problems such as leakage. Palm-based material will form jelly-like structure of the electrolyte, thus solving the leakage issue. Look at this video. With the artificial light from lamp, the cells still can work and produce electricity. Considering the weather in Malaysia, sometimes sunny, sometimes cloudy, sometimes raining, we believe that the novel solar cells will fit our environment better. The conventional solar cell requires the direct sunlight to function, but our solar cell can work under any indirect light. In this sub-project, the work will start by optimizing the performance of cell in lab before being upscaled into a module. The electricity produced by solar cell will power up various appliances in lab. One of it is the cooling system in water distillation unit in sub-project 3. The data will be collected throughout a year, assisted by sub-project 1 to see the capability of the proposed palm-based solar cell as the alternative power supply. We hope that it will be the future of sustainable energy supply, not to just a research building, but maybe extended to city or even to the whole country. In the next sub-project, let's take a look at our plan for water conservation in a research building.
Distilled water is the pure water choice in lab research work, and it is used widely. A standard water distiller has 3 sections: a heating element, a boiler, a condenser with water inlet and outlet connecting to the unit. The heating coil heats up the water in the boiler to produce clean steam. The steam enters into the glass coil condenser with tap water running as coolant. Clean distilled water is obtained as the final product. The water distiller is usually on for long hours each working day. Now, to generate 100 milliliter of distilled waters, 4 liter of tap water is used. That is 98% of water drained in the process. Thus, this project aims to improve the efficiency and usage of water in the distillation process. Malaysia is blessed with high annual rainfall. The rainwater harvest system can be installed based on the data from Sub-Project 1 to collect rainwater for various purposes, including the distillation process. During water distillation, the running water acting as coolant typically flows at the rate of 1 liter per minute and is discarded from the outlet after passing the cooling coil. To improve the cooling efficiency and conserve water, we aim to design a system that allows water to be recycled as the coolant. We propose to channel the water through a solar-powered cooling platform using solar cell from Sub-Project 2 before routing the water back to the condenser as coolant. This could potentially save up to 83% of water from being discarded, which is equivalent to the daily water requirement of 53 people per 1 unit distiller. The outcome and data from this project will be shared with the hope to extend the application to sites that use water distillers. In alignment with the government's national renewable energy policy to achieve 20% renewable energy capacity mix by year 2025, we aim to improve the existing buildings' energy and water consumption. From this project, we can improve the energy and water management by integration of IOE into the existing system, optimize the solar power generation from renewable sources, and integrate solar power into water conservation effort. This project can be the innovative step forward for the transformation of buildings to be a more eco-friendly and sustainable one. And what better place to start than in a research building? Thank you.
Thank you, Group 3. Let's open the floor to our judges for the Q&A. Dr. Sharifah.
Okay, thank you very much, Group 3. All right, I have several questions. For the first project, I would like to ask if you propose an energy efficiency system. So what is the difference of your method with the building management system? Because there are a lot of smart grid, smart energy system out there, but I do not see any novelty which you have mentioned. So what is the difference of your system with other building management system and so on? And for the second project, the pump-based die, I would like to ask, what is the efficiency of this pump-based die for this solar system which you have proposed? Is the efficiency very good? Or maybe, and how economic is it? And what is the lifetime of this palm oil-based die? Because it's a it's an organic system. So does it have a lifetime, for example? And for the last project, the distillation part, I'm quite, maybe you can explain further. Is your distillation powered by the solar PV or you're proposing a solar thermal system? And what do you mean that you use it for your cooling system part instead of the heating part for the distillation part? Because you mentioned that you use it as a cooling platform instead. So maybe you can justify further what do you mean by that? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. So I think we will answer accordingly to the sequence. So beginning from me, about the novelty of this project, I would say that the main thing that distinguishes our project from other projects in the market now is that we are trying to be a transformative program where we look into not only the best management practices, but we are also making full use of Internet of Everything into the AI part, into the big data part to see the behavior and consumption of energy and water, the energy and water consumption patterns to find a way that we can actually optimize the efficiency and prevent wastage. So like what I've mentioned in the energy management, energy water management framework, we look into the active approach and the passive approach. So with these two combined, that will be the novelty of our project, our proposed project. So I'll pass on to Yuzhan for the question 2.
Fatiha, okay.
Yes.
So for the SSC part, so basically we propose to optimize first before we scale up. So we expected to get 6% efficiency, which is maybe is quite low, but then according to the calculation, if like we install, so we optimize, like for example, we upscale into from 1 centimeter square to 20 meters square, it's like consumed for one lab. So it will like produce about 7.2 kilowatt hour per day if like the sunlight, we consider the sunlight exposure for 6 hours. But then the SSC is actually can use the indirect sunlight too. So we expected it can produce more.
Wow.
Yep.
We did amongst ourselves discuss in the first place to supply the heating coil with solar power. But the heating coil requires a 220 volt supply, and which is currently may not be feasible. And report shows that solar energy integrated water distillation process currently has a water production rate of 2 to 3 meter square per day, which is really much lower compared to the current conventional laboratory distillation process. So we propose for now using the solar power to improve the efficiency in terms of the cooling first, because one study shows that cooling the water from the outlet from 45 degree boiling hot to even 37 degree will be able to improve the distillation process by 59%. So we see that as a start to improve the water distillation process. And the important part is to recycle the water after we cool it so that it works in a loop instead of being discarded out, that is wasting of 95% of the water.
Thank you for the answer. Any other judges? Would you like to have a Q&A with the group?
There's one from me. I just want to know the cost. Have I missed? Did you share the cost of conducting the projects?
Okay. Thank you for the question. No, we have not shared that cost, but because
you don't have
funny. No, we do not have it. We have it, but because the tricky part here is that the implementation of the IOA system, as I have mentioned earlier, we can do it by stages. And if we look into the cost of sensors in the market right now, depending on their range of accuracy and precision, there are a lot of price range. It's a very huge wide range. So I would say that it would cost around 10 to 20K for start for the sensors, plus the setup of the cloud computing system, plus the the whole package of it. That is just a rough estimation, I would say, for now. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Right. Thank you for the question and the answers. Okay, judges, you may now input your scores for Group 3.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Prof. Sharifah, you may indicate if you are ready for the next group. Prof. Sharifah, everything okay?
I think can proceed now. Go ahead.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, let us hear from the fourth group who will be presenting the proposal titled Implementing Sustainable Agriculture in Malaysia via Ecosystem-Based Management System. Please welcome Tan Lee Vern, Sadatul Sofia binti Mat Sharani, and Polly Yap Susi.
Good morning, everybody. I hope everyone is still full from breakfast. Just to take a quick poll, anyone here actually made sure that their meal was balanced, having at least half of it being vegetables? No hands, just all guilty faces. It's okay, there is one here. But as bad as it is, at least it was by our own choice. 22% of Malaysians could not even afford a full meal. let alone having food with reasonable quality as well as variety. However, even the safety of our food nowadays is questionable due to the excessive use of antibiotics and pesticides which have tainted our meats and vegetables. There are 4 core components in food security that we will be addressing, namely availability, accessibility, utilization, and stability. Among the many nutritional crops, we see the asparagus as a plant with a lot of potential in improving human health, as it's low in calories and are high in vitamins and minerals. Furthermore, its high prebiotic content makes it a good replacement for antibiotics in livestock farming. However, the price of asparagus is exorbitantly high due to problems related to its productivity and cultivation. Therefore, we have devised 3 sub-projects to target these issues related to both crop and poultry farming. In sub-project 1, we plan to make the asparagus more accessible and affordable to all Malaysians by improving its productivity. Farmers are reluctant to plant the asparagus as they tend to be affected by what we define as the asparagus decline. The yield of the asparagus drops upon every harvest, requiring constant replanting that gives huge economic constraints. As a start, we want to encourage the planting of only male asparagus plantlets, as they are found to have higher yields and produce bigger spikes compared to females. However, propagation through seeds does not guarantee that all plantlets are males, but this can be made possible through plant tissue culture. Robust male plants can be carefully selected and multiplied at a fast rate while only requiring minimal space, labor, and costs. Tissue culture plantlets are generally more productive besides being disease-free, true to type, and they have also the same growth as well as maturity, which can benefit the commercial industry. Tissue culture asparagus difficult? No, it can be done. Following this, the external conditions needed for optimal growth in the field will be determined in sub-project 2. Apart from that, this project will also look into utilizing cell suspension culture for large-scale production of prebiotics in vitro conditions. This will benefit the pharmaceutical industry while encouraging its incorporation into the livestock diet, which will be studied further in sub-project 3.
In sub-project 2, we are aiming to establish a digitized farming system that is cost-effective and reliable. Did you know by 2050, Malaysia's population is expected to increase to 40 million? Wow, that's a lot of mouths to feed. It means that we have to feed more than the amount that we have today. Therefore, we need to continuously supply high-quality food over the years to keep up with the demands and make it available and affordable to everyone. Agriculture is an industry in Malaysia that is always taken for granted. The investment in this industry is considered risky because this sector is usually exposed to a variety of risks, like for example, climate change, labor issues, diseases, and pests, which cause variable production outcomes. In fact, Malaysia remains as the net agriculture importer because this sector does not have a strong growth. Nowadays, I believe everybody owns a smartphone. So why not fully utilize it to improve the agriculture sector? Internet of Things or IoT has become a huge change in many industries. As of now, asparagus can only be planted in a cool climate area like for example, Kundasang and Cameron Highland. And it takes a very long time to be harvested. But with the IoT, we can simply mimic the suitable climate to plant the asparagus anywhere we like. We can use the application software to set the conditions required by the plant via our smartphone by using all the data gathered by the sensors installed on the farm. This will of course save a lot of time and money, and at the same time, it can also help the farmers to make a better decision and improve the farm productivity in yield. Disease-free plantlets generated from sub-project 1 will also be subjected to testing to determine the optimal conditions for growth under this system, besides comparing its growth rate with the mother plant. To ensure that the plant remains disease and pest-free, this project also offers a health tracking system by using a color analysis technique to maintain the quality and the health of the asparagus easily. Healthy asparagus woody end grown through this system will also be sent to sub-project 3 to be used as prebiotic animal feed.
In sub-project 3, we are tackling the issues of antibiotic residue in the poultry industry. If I were to give you antibiotic claiming that it can boost your immune system, most likely you will reject because we all know that we shouldn't take antibiotic unnecessarily. But what if I tell you that we have probably been consuming antibiotics through the meat we ate? Because farmers use antibiotic to prevent diseases and promote growth for the food animals. Malaysia only started to ban the use of antibiotics in the animal feed in 2019. So there is still a significant impact on the food animals, our gut, and also the environment because antibiotic residues are extremely difficult to eradicate. First, we will investigate the severity of antibiotic pollution in our shared environment by investigating the chicken droppings, poultry farm environment, and the stool samples of the poultry farmers using targeted gene sequencing. Because the human gut, animal gut, water, and soil are the biggest incubator for the antibiotic-resistant bacteria to replicate and transmit among each other. We will identify where the antibiotic-resistant hotspot is in the community. Honestly, there are plenty of antibiotic-resistant detection studies in Malaysia. However, the data lacks curation and annotations, making us one step behind in the race of big data. So in our study, a curated national database of antibiotic-resistant genes will be developed and maintained for future surveillance and also to generate evidence-based policy making. Next, to explore a healthy and sustainable antibiotic alternative, we propose feeding chickens with asparagus as prebiotics to boost their growth and immunity. Inulin will be obtained from sub-project 1. Asparagus woody ends will be obtained from sub-project 2. The growth and immunological parameters of the chickens will be assessed. Large-scale production of inulin in the lab can bring down its cost as prebiotic supplements for the farmers in future. Also, fully utilizing the asparagus woody end, which are normally discarded during cooking, can prevent food wastage. Putting these three projects together, we aim to promote the adoption of sustainable and precise agriculture system and practices to increase the productivity of healthy crop and livestock. Our vision doesn't end here. The management practices that we are going to develop could be implemented in other farming systems. Community engagement, especially with the farmers and smallholders, and also knowledge sharing are also part of our plan. In the long run, we aim to provide safer solution to the overuse of antibiotic in the food animal industry, as well as making the highly nutritious crops accessible and affordable to Malaysians of all levels. Thank you.
Thank you, Group 4. Dr. Rosdiadi, you have a question for our group?
Okay, thank you, Group 4. I'm particularly interested with the idea from Sophia because I did few works on smart farm, but I just want to know your plan. Smart farm in Malaysia is quite challenging. So what's your plan to make sure that your solution is practical yet affordable to these farmers?
Okay, first of all, we will talk to the farmers to know the real challenge that they have been facing. So as of now, we will like to propose just a small scale, like maybe 200 to 400 square meter feet. And we will start with a very cheap sensor as a start, because we would like to encourage the local farmer to use the system. So for that, we will also provide like a simple solutions just for the monitoring the soil first, and then we will up to the health tracking system. Which for this one, we will gather like 400 to 500 samples of the asparagus. As a start, we will take from Kundasang, maybe Cameron Highland, to make this health tracking system by using the analysis techniques. So for this part, we will scan the color of the asparagus and also check the physical change. I mean the shape of the asparagus, how it looks like over some times. And then we will try to register all the pests that may be attacking the asparagus. So this, we will give the solutions to the farmers to identify what kind of pest that is existing in their locations. So basically, what we are trying to do, we will start with something small rather than going to large scale, because I know it's very challenging. Yeah.
I have one question.
Can we give it to Dr. Dominic first?
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Hi, thanks. My question is, I know IoT is a very fancy thing, and we don't have much application in Malaysia. And of course, you can use IoT for anything. But looking at the novelty, what is the novelty in this case when I want to use IoT for farming? I know not many applications is out there, but there are people who are doing it already. Maybe not particularly for your asparagus, but what is your novelty in that part of your project? You know?
The novelty actually comes from the health tracking system, because I've seen there are some applications, but they are actually from the overseas, and they only cater for their local climate. So for Malaysia, we don't have such application just yet, as far as I know. So that is what we are trying to do. We are trying to gather big data collections as a start for asparagus. Of course, if we manage to have a proper management in collecting the data, that is very quick. After that, we can simply apply to other type of plants.
Well, to me, as long as someone have done it, the novelty is low. As long as internet or any computer science kind of research, anything longer than 3 months is already outdated. Whether you like it or not, this is their practicing in the computer science or internet side of thing. Anything more than 3 months old is already not new, nothing new. So you may have not done this in Malaysia, but someone else have already done it in overseas, then it's not new. See?
Prof, can I just add something? Actually, what we want to do is actually just focus on the problems that we have here first. Then after that, when we have set our system, it's a full system, not just sub-project 2, it's from 1 to 2 to 3. So we have a full system which will cater for the good production of high quality, healthy plantlets and also food. So it's catering to both livestock and also crops. As we see, sometimes you are what you eat. So it's important to ensure that. And that's the most important thing that we need now, especially with the pandemic and everything.
I agree. I think the project is good overall. In terms of commercialization, that is very easy to practice. Risk very low. Business risk is low. So it's a good project. If I'm a businessman, I will invest it. Yeah, good job.
Levin, just now I saw your project cost is constitute 30%, 37% meant for equipment. I want to know what are the equipments you are doing some tissue culture identification on male, right? Male plants.
Yes,
so
yes.
How do you do that? What kind of equipment do you use?
Okay, the selection of male plants have to come from the farmers, because there are no clear distinct properties that we can just select from there. So we would have to wait for the plant to produce the flowers and the berries, then we can identify that this is a male plant. So from there, I can select either the shoot tip or the plantlets to multiply in vitro, that means in the lab. Well, in the lab, we would require things like the laminar flow, the autoclave. So these two are usually the expensive one. Then other things comes with pH meter, oven and all that. Those are the cheaper ones. Yeah. So the important thing is to create a sterile environment, just like how you want to create an operating theater. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, judges. I'm sorry, Tuan Haji Kamaruddin. Maybe we can reserve the question for later. All right, thank you, Group 4 as well. Now, while we give our judges time to answer time to score their groups, Let us watch this video from Vitrox Corporation Berhad.
Because of you, we focus on every little detail, exploring every delicate chapter on the journey. We believe everyone is capable of endless possibilities. Follow the vision in every step. We found excitement. With your blessing, we have unlimited strength, bringing out our best and sustaining it at all times. This is important to us. Our essence is most grounded when we are contributing, all of us, at each and every moment, uniting us to walk the right path. As we aid others, we are learning from the trials of everyday life. It recalls us to value the first thing that actually matters. It is you who have made us different. This is our journey towards greatness.
Ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, we have the fifth group presenting their proposal titled Green Development of Standardized Enriched Fraction and its Loaded Hydrogel from Centella asiatica L for diabetes treatment in Malaysia. In Group 5, we have Muhammad Shazali Cik Zain, Cha Yi Ho, and Nik Aina Shazana Nik Zainuddin. Please welcome.
By 2030, diabetes mellitus is the 7th most fatal disease in the world. More alarming, Malaysia is crowned as a champion in diabetes prevalence in Asia. Just imagine, among your dad, mom, sisters and brothers, you are the one. It's a very depressing news. My case, I lost my uncle 2 years ago due to severe diabetes. More tragic, recent studies reported low-income group B40 is the most vulnerable group to this deadly disease. Recently, Malaysia is flooded with many lucrative cosmetic millionaires selling herbal products claiming anti-diabetic effects. Please, I'm begging you, don't fall into their silly and cheap marketing strategies. Along with the Sustainable Development Goals by United Nations, Malaysian government looks into this matter very seriously by spending about 3.2 billion ringgit each year to curb this issue. As the Malaysian scientists, with our expertise in science and technology, we are called to alleviate the financial burden on the government scientifically. With primary concerns on diabetic patients among B40, we are proposing to the government to provide a cheap yet precise health supplement with natural anti-diabetic agents derived from Centella asiatica. Have you ever wondered why Centella? Ladies and gentlemen, don't you agree Malaysia is blessed with huge diversity of indigenous flora and fauna due to its strategic geographical region? These include Centella asiatica or pegaga. Previous studies from our lab, we discovered its crude extract contained various metabolites, including 5 major terpenoids and saponin that show anti-diabetic properties on animal models. These models is the model structure of acetic acid, which is one of the compounds. How cool is that? We would like to take a step further by pulling all these 5 metabolites together as a standardized enriched fraction and incorporate them into a drug delivery system for diabetes treatment. Hence, in this proposal, we adopt a 333 concept. To ensure the process can be delivered within 3 years, we integrate 3 novel optimized technology, which become our 3 main study objectives. First objective, for enriching the targeted metabolites in Centella, supercritical fluid extraction technology is proposed. In comparison with other conventional methods, this green technology uses carbon dioxide. Yes, carbon dioxide as a main solvent which will selectively extract compounds of interest. Second objective, thank you for the newly developed technology in drug discovery field. Now, the metabolite present in each derived extract can be monitored precisely by metabolomics and molecular networking approaches. This modern bioinformatics technology denies the classical approaches that known to be time-consuming, inefficient, and redundant. Third objective, last but not least, we incorporate the desired enriched fraction into hydrogel technology as a cheap yet promising vehicle in delivering active compounds into the targeted site upon oral application. Fret not, the safety and mechanism of action of this developed hydrogel capsule will be monitored through in vitro and in vivo models before human consumption. Hence, with these integrated technologies, we are optimistic and confident. By 2030, diabetic patients among B40 can enjoy the benefits of Centella Active Pro TM. Hope Malaysia will be no longer crowned as a returning champion in diabetes prevalence in Asia. CEO Aina, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, CEO. Ladies and gentlemen, now we are on an important mission between life and death. So how are we going to execute this mission? Initially, we will plant Centella asiatica in a controlled area with proper inspection. Once matured, Centella will be harvested and authenticated by botanists. In the lab, we will implement supercritical fluid extraction technique, which is supercritical carbon dioxide in the presence of various polar modifiers using response surface methodology at the optimized operating condition. The polar co-solvent will be employed in our extraction, and we will be using carbon dioxide due to its characteristic of cheap, green, tunable, which selectively extract polar compounds that present in Centella. Then we will be using Hansen solubility parameters in order to evaluate solubility and miscibility behavior of solvents. From here, the utilization of the co-solvent will be further evaluated based on green solvent selection tools, which helps to determine its greenness so that the end product is relatively safe for the human consumption. After the evaluation, we will analyze and monitor the profile of metabolites of interest in Centella using targeted tandem mass spectrometry-based molecular networking. This new breakthrough approach will expedite the process of compounds identification and quantification in each derived extract and also fraction. Simultaneously, we will evaluate the toxicity profile of fractions on zebrafish together with its in vitro anti-diabetic activities. To select the desired fraction, the correlation between the collected fraction with biological properties will be performed using multivariate data analysis via metabolomic method. This serves as a quality control approach in obtaining a standardized enriched fraction. Later, we will formulate a simple hydrogel encapsulation loaded with the standardized enriched fraction of interest to enhance the drug delivery efficiency. Hence, we will conduct preclinical trials using animal model of diabetic rats to mimic living subject. After giving appropriate therapeutic dose at certain period of time, blood and essential organs will be collected. And we will further investigate the anti-diabetic effect of Centella treatments together with its histopathological changes. At the end, the precise mechanism of anti-diabetic pathway of Centella via protein and gene expression will be elucidated. Ladies and gentlemen, we are planning to achieve our lab scale study starting from this year until 2023. Towards the end of third year, the scale-up process will take place. Simultaneously, we will start to patent and register our product as health supplement with NPRA before it can be marketed in Malaysia. We will continue to monitor the quality, safety, dosage, efficacy, and also adverse reaction towards public health. And we hope our mission would help to ease the burden of diabetic patients in our country, Malaysia. So now I'll pass the floor to our CFO to present our financial planning. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Operating Officer Dr. Aina. So without a doubt, the economical implications of diabetes have always been significant to the Malaysian government's health budgeting. It is estimated that by 2025, 30% of the total Malaysian population is expected to suffer from diabetes, with treatment costs of 2.4 billion ringgit incurred annually to the Malaysian government. So if we were to pull the actual data as of 2019, the actual cost incurred by the government was 3.2 billion ringgit, and that's only for diabetes and hypertension alone. So if we further break down the cost of outpatient treatment per patient, it actually ranges between 500 ringgit to 1,000 ringgit per month. And that is just a wild ballpark guess. So adding additional market-ready supplements for consumption by the patients, the entire package will actually constitute between 13% to 23% of the total B40 income. Our project aims to reduce the cost of supplements whilst enhancing the effect to control diabetes effectively. My fellow panels, we are asking the panel for a total budgetary costing of nearly 668,000 ringgit to support our research project that will actually spend across 3 years with near equivalent allocation for each sub-projects. 33% of the total budget will be allocated for human capital development, and another 33% will be used for the purchase of chemicals and consumables to kickstart the project. Another 20% of the total budget will be utilized for the participation of high-impact conferences, networking events, data collection, and also workshops to share our research works. And the remaining budget will be used to maintain our current in-house laboratory equipment available, as well as other miscellaneous costs, such as software license subscription and testing kits. Ladies and gentlemen, diabetes remains to be a significant health issue in Malaysia, and we must remain vigilant in combating this disease. I sincerely believe our team's effort can provide a more affordable solution for a healthier society. I would like to thank my colleagues for their contribution and the respective panel for your time today. Good day, and thank you from Group 5.
Thank you, Group 5. Judges, you may now pose your questions to Group 5. Yes, Prof. Sharifah?
Maybe I'll start off. So basically, you're going to develop some, I guess it's some herbs from this daun pegaga. So you mentioned that you're going to do some testings like vivo, in vitro, and so on. So what is your team plan in getting medical certification so that your herbs can be consumed by people? Yeah, are you planning for some human testing in the future, or so how are you going to test its effectiveness in treating diabetes in that perspective? Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prof, for the question. We are actually aim for the health supplement in the 3 year, and then at the end of the maybe we will develop a health supplement. Before that, we will have a patent first, and also we will register our product with the NPRA, Ministry of Health, before it can be marketed in Malaysia. Shazli, you want to add something on that?
Yes, I would like to add something. Thank you, Prof, for the questions, and thank you, Aina, for the answers. And to add on to Aina answers, actually for this, since this TRGS proposal grant is only required for 3 years, and then we aware that to develop a drugs actually take more than 5 years. Even to develop a vaccine also take some time. So for within 3 years, we are very confident and optimistic that we can provide. We can promise that we can come up with health supplements with preclinical trials. At least we done on in vitro and in vivo models based on our standardized enriched fraction from Centella. And after that, after we file a patent, if a positive result, if we apply for patent, we apply for patent and halal certificates and NPRA, register with NPRA. And then after that, we aim to apply for another grant like PRGS or long like LRGS to further test and collaborate with university hospital to get a diabetic patients to test on a clinical trial phase 1. If works. But for now, for within 3 years, we promise to come up with health supplements with a clinical trials result, preclinical trials results. Thank you.
So this budget is to do up to the clinical trial, is that right? And then
preclinical trial.
Yeah, so
Up
after
until
3 years.
preclinical trial.
And
Yes.
besides the daun pegaga, are you also considering other type of herbs?
Actually, at the beginning, for screening, we are proposing at least five medicinal plants in Malaysia that known to have anti-diabetic effects. But we chose among these, and then we further evaluate based on their in vitro and current in vitro and in vivo models result based on their crude extract. We finalized that we want to focus on Centella, since Centella, yes, Centella or pegaga, locally known as a pegaga. So and then this pegaga is quite known. And then somehow why we choose Centella is actually we want to provide like a new job for local, especially for B40, especially for farmers. So they can grow this Centella asiatica with their own small lands that they have, so can provide additional income to them. At the same time, can promote anti-diabetics. Can reduce anti-diabetic. Can reduce the diabetic patients in Malaysia.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Do we have any other judges with questions?
Hello. Yeah, I just want to continue the question from Dr. Bucks. I'm very interested when you propose this daun pegaga. Just curious, all this while, what makes the pegaga limited in terms of commercialization?
Okay, yes. Yeah, actually we're aware of that because when we look at literature reviews and some we do some market survey in Malaysia especially. Actually, we realize there's a few marketed product based on Centella asiatica, and then what we realized based on these products that are available in the market is actually based on either crude, and then their profile, the chemical profiles in their available products actually is unknown. So and then they don't have any certificate based on our knowledge, and then so far, and then don't have any certificates. And if the product is based on based on the how say research based, especially from we realize there's a few studies done from say research universities, but we realize that they only stop until at crude extract. But what we now in this proposal, we're proposing to based on the crude extract metabolites that present in crude, and then we based on these metabolites, we want to focus on 5 major metabolites in this crude extract. We want to enrich them and then put them together as enriched fractions, and then develop and further develop their efficacy. Why these 5 metabolites? Because these metabolites has been tested individually that they have anti-diabetic effects. But we're expecting when we put them all together, they have some synergy effect that will promote more anti-diabetic effects.
So one quick question for Mr. Chai. Just in case you don't get this fund of 667,000, what are your other plans? Do you have a plan B?
Plan B. So I would suggest that maybe we can apply individual FRGS, probably, and then see whether we can work out with an MOU or MOA with my fellow collaborators. And from there, probably we'll start to build up, a certain funding, maybe probably to engage the industrial collaborators, maybe from the life sciences industry, and see whether we can get funding from them, secure funding showing the efficacy of this, anti-diabetic properties from the asiatica. And yeah, I think that's one way to go, to approach the industries because research has to be commercialized. So it cannot be just a research forever. We have to go beyond. We have to go abroad, upscale into commercialization status. Yeah.
All right, I see a raised hand from Prof. Dominic.
Hi guys, good job. I have a curious thinking. Since someone have really developed it, can we keep save our money by not doing it from scratch? Can we just use the other people's one and to at least they have started something, but just that they have not got the reported whatever efficacy study? Can we use their work to continue from there and make a better product from there, rather than develop everything from scratch and spend more money?
Actually, yes, we can use their available data, especially on the chemical profiling on the crude extract. Okay, actually, we proposed the proposal based on the literature reviews, the available data that we have, and then we started from there. Because now the available data that we have is only stopped at crude. In crude extract, actually, they have like more than there is a lot of metabolites, and then these all metabolites actually not all contribute to the efficacy of anti-diabetics. And then someone like we want to promote to enhance the anti-diabetic effects in centella, and then somehow we want to produce a standardized fraction, which is when other people repeat the same thing using our method, they can produce the same standardized extract. What I mean is they have the same metabolites present in each extract, because we know that in based on geographical region, when you plant your centella in Kedah, when you plant your centella in Johor, they actually, because of this geographical region, there has some metabolite differences in terms of geographical region differences. So we want to develop a standardized fraction, and somewhat for these studies, in comparison with other available data and studies, we use carbon dioxide extraction method, which is we believe is more green and more sustainable for development of products, and then it will help promoting our good environment as well.
Thank you for the answer. Do we have any other questions from our other judges? Thank you, Group 5, and also to our panel of judges. There you have it, our 5 groups for the 2020 Chrysalis Award Grand Final page. Let us give them a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now give the judges time to calculate their final scores. In the meantime, please enjoy this video of the Academy of Sciences Malaysia.
Science plays a vital role for economic development and societal well-being. Understanding this, the Academy of Sciences Malaysia was established with a mission to be Malaysia's thought leader in all areas of science, technology, and innovation. To realize its mission, ASM harnesses the nation's top scientific minds to chart the STI direction and facilitates the implementation of an innovation-led economy for the country. ASM's commitment lies firmly in fostering a culture of excellence in STI in Malaysia. ASM does this by providing independent, credible, relevant, and timely STI input of national and international importance to the country. Our network of expertise comprises Malaysian scientists, engineers, and technologists who specialize in various disciplines. The Academy assists in upgrading the nation's technological capabilities in the industrial sectors by producing high-quality publications such as peer-reviewed journals, monographs, and books. In addition, ASM also provides input on current and future technology trends to be considered and taken up by the government in driving the nation's economy forward. To provide Malaysian scientists with the best opportunities and exposure, ASM actively extends its international networks and collaborations. It currently has a range of multilateral engagements with renowned scientific institutions worldwide. The Academy also champions the need to grow the right talent in STI by cultivating interests in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics to the younger generation. In short, the Academy's ethos is proudly defined as Think Science, Celebrate Technology, Inspire Innovation.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. Park Seok-Kyu, Head of Research and Applied Commercial Life Science from Merck Malaysia, Sendirian Berhad, to deliver his speech.
Thank you, Nazmi. It's okay for the sounds?
Yep.
Thank you. So before I start, I would like to express special appreciation for the allowing participation to very meaningful Malaysia Science event. This is a great honor. Professor Dr. Asma Ismail, ASM President, Dr. Giru Dr. C.T. Hamisha, Secretary General of the MOSI, Dr. Chai Rai-Ching, Chairperson of the YSM, really thank you. Selamat pagi, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, I really would like to say thank you to all organized Young Scientists Network Malaysia and the Academic Science of Malaysia for having Merck Malaysia to be a part of the Chrysalis Award event. This event marked another successful milestone of the Merck collaboration with YSN that started since mid-2020. This public and private partnership aimed to accelerate science discovery and the knowledge of the Malaysian scientists for solving the toughest problem in the human life. As we learn about the concept of the Chrysalis Award that aspires to develop and nurture future promising Malaysia researchers to fulfill their potentials, we are truly inspired by the spirit of the inclusivity and empowerment that YSN-ASM has created for the Malaysian researchers. Congratulations to the Dr. Chai, Chairperson of the YSN, and the Dr. Lee, Chair of the Science Relationship Working Group, for the successful execution of the event during the very ordinary times. Personally, I gained very much insight and the perspectives about the Malaysian research landscape through today's pitching session. I'm very impressed by all the finalists' passion, perspectives toward research and potential positive impact to the society. This is a great platform, indeed, for the young researchers to showcase their talent and at the same time, discover what others are creating. It is also an inclusive opportunity, inviting the full community, including commercial like Merck, to creating an ecosystem for the future collaboration. I believe this is an important step to take. Let's not make research a sole discovery journey. The whole is greater than sum of its parts. Within this screen, I see passionate, diverse, talented young researchers shaping the future of the Malaysia research. I'm very confident that Malaysia could achieve greater height in coming year. Kudos to all Chrysalis finalists. Last but not least, I wish to thank all the audience joining us online from the various social media platforms to support and witness the transformation of the Malaysian young scientists. And more, we are committed to continuous collaboration with YSN to promote sustainable science research leadership for this country. Thank you for listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Park. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Yang Berbahagia Professor Dr. Asma Ismail, the President of the Academy of Sciences Malaysia, to deliver her speech.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera and a very good morning, everybody. Yang Berbahagia Datuk Insinyur Dr. Siti Hamisah Tafsir, the SecGen for Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation. Yang Berusaha Puan Hazami Habib, the CEO of Academy of Sciences Malaysia, Mr. Park Seok Chew, the head of the Research and Applied Commercial Life Science Merck Sdn Bhd, Dr. Tai Lei Ching, the chairperson of the Young Scientists Network, ASM, Dr. Lee Hui Ling, chair of the Chrysalis Award, ASM fellows and members of YSN-ASM, judges and finalists of the 2020 YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award, media representatives, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Academy of Sciences Malaysia, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all present in the virtual space today for the 2020 Young Scientists Network ASM Chrysalis Award Grand Final. And I would like to wish everyone a happy and blessed New Year. Let us all welcome 2021 with positive vibes. First and foremost, I would like to thank our KSU, Yang Bahagia Datuk Engineer Dr. Siti Hamisah Tafsir for taking her time to grace this event. Your presence, especially over the weekend, demonstrates the ministry's commitment in supporting the development of future STI leaders who are excellent and passionate in contributing to STI development and well-being of the nation. And I also would like to congratulate the YSN-ASM members for their tireless efforts in empowering young researchers and mentor them to become great researchers for the country. And thank you very much for your passion in nurturing and grooming the Chrysalis finalists, not just for 1 year, but for 5 years. And hopefully they will be able to reach their full potential and become the next layer of Malaysian scientists. And I would like to also thank our strategic partners, Merck Sdn Bhd, Vitrox Corporation Berhad, and University Science Malaysia for their contribution and commitment to empower the young and promising future researchers and for their earnestness to give back to the scientific community. And I hope that this partnership and collaboration will continue for many more years to come. And I hope that more industries and more universities, both public and private, can now join as strategic partners in the future. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the award has its beginnings as the Young Investigator team, which was then rebranded to be known as the YSN-ASM Rising Star Award in 2019, and finally now the Chrysalis Award in 2020. I hope that this award can be stabilized because it takes a few years for an award to gain prestige and branding. So the YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award, I've been informed, has stringent selection process, including the newly introduced science pitching as the finale, and it's in its endeavor to select the creme de la creme as the winner. The award, I believe, is open to early career Malaysian scientists who are in their final year as PhD students, must age 35 and below, and are studying in Malaysia. And for them to qualify, they need to be involved in outstanding research, possess an enthusiasm to improve themselves, and a commitment to contribute back to the country. So from 46 applications, the jury selected 15 finalists who have now just concluded their pitching. So to the finalists present here today, your time as a chrysalis has finally come to an end. And throughout 2020, you have been undergoing transformation to become a better researcher and a better researcher in modern times, all right? So you have been taught principles of good science, communicating science effectively, performing responsible conduct in research, and a full understanding of why research needs to be done. And ladies and gentlemen, we do research basically to provide solutions to the problems faced by the nation and humanity. This is what we call amanah, or the responsibility and accountability of being a researcher. Yesterday at the launching of the Malaysia Grand Challenge by YB Khairi Jamaluddin, the Minister of MOSTI, I would like to quote what he said. It's time for us to do away with R&D shock sendiri and move to now R&D shock negara. I think this is the time. ladies and gentlemen, to now perform impactful research, where we need to now translate this R&D to the community and also to the industry. Publishing in impact factor journals is part of the journey, but it is not the end of the research journey. The end game for research is to provide benefit to the rakyat and enhance wealth creation for the nation. Now, I have been informed that you have come to value all the virtual engagement sessions organized by YSN-ASM. And this is the time to learn, to unlearn, to relearn, co-learn, and co-create. And that is exactly what we saw today. Presentations on a collaborative effort. I hope that you also learn a lot and manage to create friends and enhance your networking, because tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, is about sharing of information, is about collaboration. You cannot afford to be working in silos. I hear some very good presentations today with great ideas, with emphasis on novelty and emphasis on impact. The Q&A session today showed a lot of thinking, and the way you answer the question in a multidisciplinary teamwork, that is excellent. All right. And for that, I would like to thank Dr. Lee Hui Ling and her excellent team for a great job in coordinating the program despite facing the unprecedented challenges of 2020. So, ladies and gentlemen, a little bit about ASM. ASM is a statutory body under the Ministry of Science, Technology, and Innovation that strives to foster a culture of excellence in science, engineering, and technology in Malaysia, constantly looks for avenues to achieve this aspiration. And the Chrysalis Award by the YSN-ASM is one of the many ways that ASM is involved to see this aspiration come to pass. So as a learned body, ASM has been continuously supporting the YSN-ASM since its formation in 2012. And we believe that YSN-ASM is a network of paramount importance, as it will inspire the future generation of scientists to collaborate in sharing of knowledge, building of expertise, enhancing STI capacity and capability in the context of global science. And I've always respected the passion that YSN-ASM has to train the up-and-coming researchers and prepare them for the future. As you are aware, the landscape of R&I is changing, and you need to keep up. Doing good science alone is important, but selling of science is equally important in order to create impact and be able to communicate well with society. I mean, we have seen a lot of good efforts and initiatives done by the government, but can be considered a failure simply because of poor communication plan. So let me end by congratulating the YSN-ASM and the organizing committee for the great leadership shown in organizing the Chrysalis Award. Perhaps one day we can upgrade the Chrysalis Award equivalent to the MIT Grand Challenge with projects that will now answer Malaysia Grand Challenge. So thank you once again to our Datuk KSU for gracing the occasion, and I wish the participants all the best in your future endeavors, and remember to keep the passion burning. So with that, thank you very much. Wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Asma. Next, we have the Secretary General of the Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation, Yang Berbahagia Datuk Engineer Dr. Siti Hamisah Tafsir, to deliver her speech.
Thank you, Nazmi. Yang Berbahagia Professor Datuk Dr. Asma Ismail, President of Academy of Sciences Malaysia. Yang Berusaha Puan Hazami Habib, Chief Executive Officer of Academy of Sciences Malaysia. Mr. Park Seok-Yew, Head of Research and Applied Commercial Life Science, Merck Sdn Bhd. Dr. Chai Lei Ching, Chairperson of Young Scientist Network ASM, ASM Fellows, and YSN-ASM, judges and finalists of the 2020 YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award, media representatives, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh, and a very good morning. It is indeed a great pleasure for me to be here this morning to represent Yang Berhormat Minister of Science, YBKJ, to this 2020 YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award Grand Final. Please allow me to convey his regards to everyone, and he wishes all the best to the finalists. It's an honor to see talented young scientists pitch their innovative ideas, especially during this critical, unprecedented time. I understand that all the finalists are the final year PhD students, and I look forward to hearing more ideas from all of you, whether it is on personalized medicine for coronary artery disease or pump-based solar cells. I hope these ideas will be materialized in the future and into real solutions which positively impact the community and the nation. Ladies and gentlemen, as we are all aware, the global economy is rapidly transforming. We are moving towards a new economy that is not only knowledge intensive, but also relies greatly on innovation, fueled by all forms of digital revolution and technological advancement. Therefore, countries across the world are now looking into gaining competitive advantage by increasing their innovation capacity and capability, in which science, technology, and innovation, STI talent, is positioned as among the primary drivers to enhance their socio-economic position and competitiveness. Let us look at China, for example. A middle-income country, China managed to be among the top 15 countries in the 2020 Global Innovation Index. To bring China at the forefront of the technological advancement, Chinese government prioritized the development and deployment of high quality and high performance STI talents. The number of researchers is the highest in the world, with 1.87 million researchers, and exceeds the number of researchers in the US. This effort has led to their industry success to be among the top in the technological innovation, especially in emerging areas such as telecommunication technologies, big data, supercomputers, artificial intelligence, and e-commerce. Ladies and gentlemen, as Malaysians, we need to be proud of our country's achievements. While China is already in the top 15 of the GII, we are rising through the ranks and currently positioned at number 33 in the 2020 GII. Therefore, for us to partake in this new economy and become high-tech nation, it is imperative for Malaysia to develop and fully harness our STI talents to further improve our country's research and development. In doing so, we hope to be able to position our country at the cutting edge of global innovation and scientific advancement in the future. To realize these ambitions, we must create a conducive ecosystem and support system to accelerate innovation within the scientific community through collaboration and open innovation that will connect them with industries. This will eventually increase the chances of Malaysia to develop disruptive technologies and penetrate the global market, which is currently dominated by developed countries and the likes of China. We do have some of our technologies, for example, Aerodyne, which is third in the world. So what we need to do is to create more Aerodynes in the country. To this collaboration, the scientific community will also be able to strengthen their connections and leverage on each other's expertise and network, especially with senior scientists and industry experts. In this ecosystem, the mentoring and guidance given to early career scientists by senior scientists and industry experts would accelerate and pave the way for our national R&D and innovation to move at par with the global level. Ladies and gentlemen, to support and improve the STI ecosystem, MOSTI has embarked on various initiatives to support and nurture our country's R&D, STI talent development, and innovation ecosystem. Among the initiatives includes the establishment of collaborative network platform with industries called iConnect with the aim of bridging R&D and businesses towards increasing disruptive innovation, to facilitate local industries shift towards R&D based industry, and to develop researchers' expertise. MOSTI developed the Researchers Industry Scientific Exchange, which is called RISE, to initiate and enable the cooperation between researchers and industries. With the recently launched National Policy on Science, Technology and Innovation, DSTIN 2021-2030, MOSTI aims to lead the transformative strategic direction for the country towards intensifying the local technology development and also the efforts to transform Malaysia from being technology users to technology developers or creators. The policy outlines 6 cores, which includes empowerment of R&D and C&I and STI development. Yesterday, YB Minister also launched a funding program called the Grand Challenge, Malaysian Grand Challenge, and the spirit is to direct our R&D and C&I into more niche areas which have been identified as economic drivers by our DSTIN and 10x10 Science, Technology and Innovation and Economic Framework. And in the session, YB also mentioned about bringing our GERD from 1.0 now to 3.5 in the next 5 years. So I would like to take this opportunity to encourage all of you, including researchers and startups, to apply and assist us in solving this ambitious grand challenge to inclusively and sustainably increase our well-being in the country. Ladies and gentlemen, this YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award, organized by the Young Scientists Network ASM, together with its strategic partners in one among the many strategies to nurture as well as providing continuous support and mentorship to the promising early career scientists among PhD students, as highlighted by Yang Berbahagia Dato' Asma just now. This is to provide path for them to become outstanding scientists that will contribute to the country's STI development in the future. I hope that the guidance and mentorship provided by the senior scientists and experts from the industry, as well as the experiences that gained throughout this Chrysalis Award program, will greatly benefit and help to chart your scientific career ahead. Hence, I would like to encourage all of you to work hard and strive in doing the best in your career. Before I conclude, I would like to express my appreciation and congratulations to YSN-ASM under the leadership of Dato' Asma and CEO Hazami and the strategic partners for organizing this Chrysalis Award. I would also like to congratulate all the finalists for the outstanding achievement. And finally, I would like to give my compliments to the 2020 YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award winners that will be announced shortly. Keep up the good work and continue to pursue excellence in your future undertaking. Thank you so much for your kind attention.
Thank you, Dr. Siti Hamisa. Ladies and gentlemen, I have received the final scores from our esteemed panel of judges. But before that, I would like to invite the Chief Judge, Professor Engineer Dr. Sharifah Rafida, to comment on our finalists' performances today. Prof. Sharifah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman or MC. Yang Bahagia Dato' IR Dr. Siti Hamisa binti Tapsir, Secretary General, Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation. Yang Bahagia Profesor Dato' Dr. Asma Ismail, President Academy of Science Malaysia. Puan Hazami Habib, CEO of SM. Dr. Chai Lai Ching, YSN-ASM Chair. YSN-ASM Science Leadership Chair and Co-Chair, Dr. Hui Ling and Dr. Sui Kit, sponsors, fellow judges, finalists, and all viewers. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning. So on behalf of all the judges, first of all, I would like to congratulate all the 15 participants for reaching up to this stage. So well done to all of you. This requires perseverance and passion to follow all the programs which has been set out. Yeah. And congratulations also in coming out with all the unique and innovative proposals we have seen today. So last year and this year are very special years, filled with many challenges, especially with the issue of COVID-19 and the latest national issue, which is the flooding in our countries. All this we can give up, yeah, or as scientists, yeah, as what we can see, what you have proposed today, we can rise up to face the challenge of COVID-19, flood, and many more challenges in the future. Yeah, and we can make new innovations to try to overcome all these issues, yeah, like all the things that all of you have proposed today. And the use of multidisciplinary, yeah, like the suggestions for all the IT innovations, medical innovations, social innovations, and many more. With the combination of all these multidisciplinary thinkings and experts, like again, what we have seen today, which is very good and excellent, we can see that all of you who are young scientists from different fields, yeah, working together to come up with all these holistic solutions. To give an overall comment, we feel that all of you have done very well in the presentation. Excellent teamwork from all of you. Some even use props. Well done. Yeah, we are also very impressed with your passion and ideas, good research background and problem statement, use of statistics, yeah, suggestions of novel solutions, and you try to highlight the impacts and benefits of the projects to the people around you. And furthermore, most of you also embrace the SMART concept: specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and within the time frame. So well done on all this. And of course, some of these proposals can still be polished further, but I think you have learned a lot from all the workshops which you have attended, and also the mentors which have mentored you and your team. So kudos to all of you, as well as the workshop trainers, as well as the mentors. Yeah. We hope that the ideas that you have proposed do not end here, and try to bring this idea and proposals to real presentations of applying grants and so on. And maybe I hope maybe ASM, the ministry, or even the other sponsors here, if you have seen some very good presentations today, maybe you can also take up some of the ideas that they have presented. To conclude, the learning process do not end here. Your journey is still very, very far. Regardless if you win or not, we believe you have learned a lot from the journey in this competition. And we strongly believe all of you are the future and will bloom from the chrysalis into a beautiful butterfly that will make significant impacts to the STI landscape, not only in Malaysia, but also globally. With that, thank you very much. All the best to you, and over back to you, Mr. MC. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Engineer Dr. Sharifah Rafida. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the moment we have all been waiting for, the results of the 2020 YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award. Today we have a total of 5 awards to be given away. To all our finalists, please turn on your camera. The first recognition to be given is the Best Team Award. The best team will receive a total of 3,000 ringgit cash award from Merck Malaysia Sendirian Berhad and a certificate of achievement each. Ladies and gentlemen, the Best Team Award goes to Group 1 with their proposal titled Automated Self-Powered Water Treatment and Monitoring System for Drinkable Water Production. Congratulations, Group 1. Next, we have the Merck Rising Star Award. The recipient of the Merck Rising Star Award will receive a 1,000 ringgit cash award and a certificate of achievement from Merck Malaysia Sendirian Berhad. The Merck Rising Star Award will be given to Ku Zisian from the UKM Medical Molecular Biology Institute of Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia. Congratulations, Mr. Ku Zisian. We have arrived at our top 3 winners. Aside from the following prizes, one of the winners may also secure a 1-month industrial placement at Vitrox Corporation Berhad, a postdoc opportunity at University Science Malaysia, as well as a 1-month professional development attachment at the Academy of Sciences Malaysia. The third place winner will receive a 2,000 ringgit cash award and a reagent sponsorship worth 3,000 ringgit from Merck Malaysia Sendirian Berhad, a 3,300 ringgit career development fund from ASM, and a certificate of achievement. Ladies and gentlemen, the third place goes to Ku Zisian from the UKM Medical Molecular Biology Institute, Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia. Ladies and gentlemen, the second place winner will receive a cash prize of 2,000 ringgit and a reagent sponsorship worth 3,000 ringgit from Merck Malaysia Sendirian Berhad, a career development fund of 3,300 ringgit from ASM, and a certificate of achievement. The second place goes to Muhammad Fakrul Ridwan Samsudin from the Department of Chemical Engineering, University Technology Petronas. The first place winner will receive a cash prize of 2,000 ringgit and a reagent sponsorship worth 3,000 ringgit from Merck Malaysia Sendirian Berhad, a 3,400 ringgit career development fund from ASM, and a certificate of achievement. Ladies and gentlemen, the first place winner of the 2020 YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award goes to Lam Jia Yong from the Department of Medical Microbiology, University Putra Malaysia. Congratulations to all the winners. Dr. Siti Hamisa, would you like to give a congratulatory remark to our winners?
Congratulations to all the winners and finalists. I wish all the best in your future endeavors. I believe that your generation will bring Malaysia to the level of developed nation. I hope to see that during our lifetime. Yeah, and the world is your oyster. All the best to everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Siti Hamisa. With that, the 2020 YSN-ASM Chrysalis Award Grand Final Pitch has come to an end. The Academy of Sciences Malaysia would like to thank our organizing partners, University Science Malaysia, Merck Malaysia Sendirian Berhad, as well as Vitrox Corporation Berhad for their cooperation and collaboration. Also, a big thanks to MOSTI for your continuous support, to our finalists, to the judges, as well as to our viewers who have joined us via Zoom and Facebook Live. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and stay safe. Goodbye.